Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Manchester City play Chelsea again tomorrow, this time at the Etihad Stadium, this time in the FA Cup. Hopefully, we're looking at another victory. That tends to be the story so far this season with Chelsea. But excuse me, but you never know how it's going to go. But either way, today I'm going to preview that game, look at all the team news, try and predict the 11, try and see what this game is going to entail, and loads more. Hello to everyone already in the chat. Good morning to Scott. Hello to Lord Bracken, Charlie, Brian Gardner, Faisal. It's good to see you here already. Don't forget, please do hit that subscribe button. I only need 28 more subscribers to get to 64,900, and then 100 after that to get 65,000. I would like to get there. It'd be very nice to get there, so do hit the subscribe button, and I'm doing that because I want you to hit the like button as well. Let's get the likes up, man. Come on. A like for every Haaland goal. It's not hard to do. Hello to Jack and Mason and Mark as well, and SSMO, MTN, and everyone else. It's good to see you all here. 2 a.m. in Australia, Dropbox. Wow. Where else you are watching in? That commitment that you guys have is unreal. It really is. I couldn't make videos at 2 a.m. every single day. I could watch games maybe, but probably not do that. It's impressive. Danny reckons the blue train will start chugging from now. Hopefully you mean the Manchester City blue train. Of course you do. Of course you do. 5 o'clock in South Africa. Nice, Afiso. Lovely stuff. So, yep, City play Chelsea again tomorrow, of course, off the back of the 1-0 victory against Chelsea the other day. A much-needed 1-0 victory. A happy-feeling 1-0 victory, even if the game itself wasn't much of a classic. Of course, Grealish and Mahrez were the match winners on that day, and it was a game full of plenty of narratives, a new formation, which bombed very quickly, and then the players that Guardiola trusted thrown straight back in to the fray in the second half, and they obviously fixed it. But it does feel like the kind of game where you want a bunch of changes here. I'm expecting a bunch of changes here, if I'm being honest, man. I really am. I want to see a whole bunch of Manchester City players changed. I want to see some players rested. I want to see some people given a chance that haven't played recently. I want to see all that, and I think it's necessary. I really do think it's necessary. As Drapok said, Alvarez season. I did watch the EDS, by the way, people mentioning it. They just won 6-0 against Arsenal. Arsenal were top of the table, at the top of the Premier League too. Which is crazy, and City have just battered them 6-0. This is the Premier League 2 table right now, by the way. There we go. City now at top after beating Arsenal 6-0. There we go. It was wonderful. Alex Robertson, Carlos Borges, and Diama Bude scoring a brace of goals each, and City battered them, and it could have been much more. I only saw the second half, but I've seen the quality of the goals, and it was very impressive. Borges, a very good winger that I would love to see play for the first team. I don't think we're going to, personally, sadly. That's my general theory. But either way, lovely stuff from Van Sass, Samuel, Finley Burns, Katongo, Wilson, Esbrand, Robertson, Shea Charles, Kieran Brecken, Diamond Bude, Oscar Bob, and Carlos Borges there. Beating a very good Arsenal side, battering a very good Arsenal side. Lovely stuff. Now, I don't think any of these are going to be involved tomorrow. And interestingly, Wilson Esbrand, of course, on the bench, on the starting 11, which means he won't be involved tomorrow too. I'm expecting to see a very senior Manchester City side in many ways tomorrow, because I think it's needed. I think it's really needed. In terms of the actual quotes, there wasn't many going around from Guardiola. He talked about Calvin Phillips. He said in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals with Southampton, he's going to play, and Sunday we will see. He's going to play. I reckon he will. He said, I had the feeling last week that Calvin is back. It will maybe be a good lesson for him in the future. I have the feeling that he's a football player. Has to be for 12 months perfect. Even holidays have to be perfect. He's talking about his sexy body, isn't he? He really is. Calvin's lost a little bit of weight. To be fair to Calvin, like, he might be a pound or two. And some people just put on weight really quickly, don't they? Some people do. I've always been relatively naturally lean. I can eat loads and not put on loads of weight. It's catching up to me now as I approach 40. But in general, he might have been one of those who's just unlucky, you know. Either way, he said you can enjoy, you can do whatever you want, but you have to be ready because this level is so demanding. You have to play every 3 days. You have to be fit. And when you're not fit, nothing. In the last week of the days, he has improved to this level. So there we go. That's all Guardiola really said. There might be some more quotes that come out later on, but that's pretty much all we know right now in terms of the actual... general like team news and so on. Guardiola, just the odd quote kind of seeping out here and there. This is going to be an interesting game because Chelsea probably don't want this game right now. Chelsea, of course, are in the midst of a terrible run of form, you know. This was the game the other day. City, of course, the better team just about. Chelsea played this team the other day: Azpilicueta, Silva, Koulibaly, Cucurella ahead of Kepa, Zakaria, Kovacic, Pulisic, Sterling, Ziyech, Havertz. It was a much changed team, but they had injuries galore. Mason Mount... Ziyech and Sterling, and maybe about before the game, and Sterling and Ziyech I think went off, and they brought on Aubameyang, Conor Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, Hutchison, Lewis Hall, but that bench already wasn't the strongest, man. Obviously the experience there, but Chukwuemeka is a really good young player, but still he's young. Humphreys, Hutchison, Hall, a lot of young players on there. Conor Gallagher's still not got loads of highest level experience. Trevor Chalobah, he's okay. They have Aubameyang getting on a bit. Jorginho, he wasn't their strongest bench they've ever had, and I'm expecting Chelsea to make a whole bunch of changes as well, man. They are. They will do. They will do, and they probably need to. Because they need to look ahead to their, to the games that fully matter for them. Of course, Chelsea will always want to win games, but, they want the Champions League, and they're currently, as you can see there, they're currently sat in 10th in the Premier League. They're behind Brentford, Brighton, Fulham, it's Newcastle look up there in third. They're currently, they're just very mid-table, and how many points off they are? I mean, they're 10 points off. They ain't going to get Champions League, but they obviously want to try, and that has to be a priority for them. It really does. And with Fulham coming up and Crystal Palace coming up, they've got Liverpool as well. Fulham, West Ham, they are going to make changes. I mean, who have they got out as well at the moment, Chelsea? Let me just bring up the list. They've got a whole bunch of players out. They've got, obviously, Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, I think Ziyech now. Was it Pulisic? Sorry, it was Pulisic who went off, wasn't it? Yeah, not Ziyech. Who else before that? It was Reece James, Armando Broja, N'Golo Kante, Edouard Mendy. It's likely that Fofana, Chilwell, Loftus-Cheek will be available as well. So it's basically a first team, They've got, what is it, Mendy. I'll see if you can actually name a team with it. You've got Mendy, you've got right back in Reece James, you've got Fofana. There's those people missing that. We need another centre back. You've got Chilwell anyway. Then you've got Kante, Loftus-Cheek. Who else? You got Broja as a striker. Then you've got Sterling and Pulisic. It's basically a whole first team unavailable for the players. So it was already weakened anyway, but they got a really weak squad. Excuse me. Bless me. So they've got so many injuries, so I'm expecting to see a really changed Chelsea side, man. When you look at the Chelsea side that played the other day against us once again, these guys here on the bench, Lewis Hall will start probably, Chukwuemeka, excuse me, I got the sneezes, somebody tickled my nose there. Aubameyang probably will do, Jorginho, Chalobah. It's going to be weak. That's the thing for Chelsea. I'm not confident that they've got the players to make a massive bunch of changes. Where Man City, I think this is going to be an interesting team. This is the team that I think it's going to be, and I'll give my reasonings now. We don't know yet if Laporte's back, do we? Do we think Laporte's back? I think he's going to be back, I reckon. So I'm going to say Laporte will be back, I reckon. I mean, he might not be, but I'm going to say he will be. It's just a guess. Ortega will be in goal, I reckon. I think Walker and Cancelo are going to start because they have to start. They have to start, and they're going to play in their usual positions. Cancelo, Walker have to play. They need match time. Rico Lewis will be rested because he's the first team choice now. But I think they just have to. They have to play. They have to get fit. They have to be sharp. Laporte's in training, according to Charlie. So Laporte will play, and I think he'll play alongside Akanji, is my guess there. So I think it'll be Laporte and Akanji with Ake and Stones sat on the bench. Do we all sort of agree with that? It could be Gomez, but I think he'll want Cancelo and Walker to get some fitness and get some game time and find their rhythm again, because Cancelo, Laporte, and Walker, if all those three find the rhythm again, Manchester City are a better team. I think it's simple as that, really. We need those three to find their best form. So they have to play. I think they have to play. In terms of midfield, I mean, I also think it'll be Calvin Phillips. I mean, Rodri recently has played so much football. I'm going to sneeze again, I apologise. Something's tickled my nose. Away said Laporte and Akanji doesn't work together. I know, but they're going to play because it's too senior. Right centre back, left centre back. They're going to play that. And it's enough for an FA Cup game, man. So Phillips is going to start this game, I reckon. I think Rodri will be on the bench. I think he has to be on the bench. And then I reckon KDB will sit out. So I think it will be Bernardo and I think it'll be Gundo. This is where it gets exciting. He sneezes when he wants. Stephen McInerney. And it could be Gomez in midfield, says Hossam. Maybe it could be. But I'm going to say it'll be this. And then this will be Alvarez. Alvarez is going to start this game. Phil Foden is going to start this game too, in my personal opinion. And I think this is really fun. I think this is going to be Cole Palmer on the right, because I think Mahrez and Grealish will get a rest, and Haaland will get a rest too. That's a fun lineup, that, man. Palmer on the right, Foden on the left, Alvarez up front. I mean, I like that. Gomez is starting, says Cian Mays. How do you know, mate? How do you know? Where's he starting? If so, who's dropping out the team? Maybe he does. Maybe Gomez starts here alongside Calvin Phillips or something like that, with Bernardo ahead of him. Maybe it's like this as he plays as a midfielder. Maybe it's something like that if Gomez plays. Maybe Gomez plays left back, or left midfield, and Foden. Maybe Gomez plays here and Foden plays centrally. Maybe Foden finally gets a central role, something like this. It could be something like that. As Danny just said, yeah, Foden's an 8. It could be something like that potentially. But I do think it's going to be more or less this collection of players. Rico could start. I think it's going to be something like this. And to be honest, I like it. I do think the players that need a rest, Rodri needs a rest. Haaland needs a rest. Grealish, Morris, they're the best players. They should be on the bench right now. Stones should be. Ake should be rested. Rico Lewis weirdly needs a rest. This is where I feel it should be. Faisal, good on you, man. But to me personally, I feel like these are the players that you need a little bit. They need a bit of a rest. No one's falling for that joke, by the way. Triple controllers, no one's falling for that, pal. It's really obvious, This isn't The Simpsons. This is not Bart ringing Moe's Tavern, Good luck reading that one outside. But I reckon being the old man in the front six, I know, Bob, imagine that. I think it could be something like this. I still think it might be, though, Gundo. I think he might. Gundo's out of form. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a start there and we see Gundo or something like that. But I do think Calvin Phillips is going to start. I do think Palmer's going to start. I do think these fullbacks will start, Cancelo and Kyle Walker. And I do think Laporte will. Ortega too. That's a team that I would expect to win. I'd expect him to win, to be honest. Chelsea's team is going to be much weaker. We look at the Chelsea team the other day. They're going to rest, Thiago. Sure, I mean, how are they going to play? Will Bettinelli play, I don't think he will do, will he? I can't really predict the Chelsea lineup, but I'm expecting to be many changes from the other day, and they sort of need it as well. And they can't just play, the whole bunch of players at the same time. And the thing is, as well, if we win this game and we get through, and it looks positive, and all of a sudden City are in, this is the third round. We'll be in the fourth round of the FA Cup. We've got the quarterfinal against Southampton on Wednesday, which I think will rest players for that reason, by the way, because the quarterfinal is a quarterfinal. I know it's just the Carabao Cup, but it's still it's a Carabao Cup, and then you got United as well at the weekend. I think we'll see the changes, knowing that the players are going to start both of those games. The key players are going to start both of those games, so we are going to see a whole bunch of changes. Rico Lewis could play he could play 5 days a week. I actually agree. Kareem, but obviously he has to be rested here and there for common sense reasons, and Kyle Walker has to play football. He has to. Joao Cancelo has to play football. It's essential that they find their rhythm again. To be honest, I'm excited for this game. I think City will be good. I think we're the better team right now. I'm expecting City to win. I'm expecting City to win, if I'm being totally honest with you. I do think we've got the better team. I think Chelsea are in such a bad patch. I think Chelsea played poorly the other day, and I think the team City's going to put out will be a good enough team to beat a Chelsea team with many changes and many injuries, and a Chelsea team that probably don't want to be here. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, they've got so many problems and so many things to focus on that an FA Cup game against a side that they lost at home the other day in the Premier League with loads of injuries is probably the last thing they want right now, especially against Manchester City Football Club, because we've got a much stronger second 11 than they have currently, because they've got so many injuries, man. So to me, this is a good time to play Chelsea again, and I do think City are going to win this. I'm probably going to go for a 3-1 or something like that. I think it'll be relatively comfortable. I do want to see Cole Palmer on the right. That's one thing I'm excited for. Riyad right now can't play every single game, but Cole Palmer on the right, I love the idea of that. Cole Palmer is a fantastically gifted right winger, and I want to see him play in his favourite position. I do want to see it. I would love it, and I'd be there, and I'd be happy if it happens. And fingers crossed it will do, because I think he'll score. I think he'll find a way to impress. I think he'd turn Cucurella plenty of times if he got there. Maybe Hall as well, potentially, but To me, that's what I want to see. I want to see Cole Palmer. Imagine Alvarez, Palmer, and Foden, by the way. That's a vibey front three. That's a vibey front three, personally. Kareem asking about Borges. Why doesn't he get moved to the first team? I don't think it's ever going to happen. I actually tweeted this before, controversially. My feeling is that I'm not sure he will... I feel like he's just missed the... I don't know. I tweeted this before. I said my instinct is that Borges will leave on the loan this summer. I said I think he might move. I said, to be honest, controversially, it might be the right call. He just doesn't feel like a Guardiola winger. I really like Borges, but Guardiola's just, he likes players that don't lose the ball much. And I also think Wilson Esbrand, as well, as good as he is, I don't think Guardiola loves him. I think he likes him, but I feel like he's a bit raw, and he doesn't always keep the ball perfectly. And I think he also, with Wilson Esbrand, I think he's one of those where so much talent, but he's so attacking and so dramatic, which we love as fans, but it's not necessarily a Guardiola thing these days. And I feel like Borges fits the same sort of category. So we'll see. But I would love Borges to get a chance, but I feel like he'll leave in the summer. You can genuinely tell, by the way, and I said it here as well on Twitter. I said the ones that get the first team games are usually the ones who were involved in pre-season. And you got to look at pre-season last year, and it was the likes of McAtee, and it was the likes of Rico Lewis and so on. It's always the ones that are around the first team in pre-season training that get used. Like, he rarely makes exceptions unless there's massive injuries. It's always those guys because he trusts them. He learns how they play, and I do think that genuinely is pretty much how it goes. So we'll have to basically, he has to. You have to see what he does in the summer. Guys just said, what is a Guardiola winger? Do you know what? You're right, because we obviously had Leroy and Sterling, but it's worth bearing in mind that Guardiola started to drop Leroy because he was losing the ball a lot, and that ultimately led to an unhappy Sane, not Sterling, and maybe even Sterling actually, but he started to drop Sane a little bit in his last season. The season before he got injured, he was on the bench every other game because he was constantly giving the ball away, and it was driving Guardiola mad. Guardiola also, he's not the same guy as he was 5 years ago at Manchester City. He isn't. I think his football's a little bit more pragmatic at the moment. It's more controlled and more cautious. So I do think, he's like a slightly different player these days. I mean, maybe it is that. Maybe it is just... Maybe it's just also like a seniority, like they have to prove themselves a little bit. But Sterling and Sane, they were senior players, and the step up from a young winger to that level is really fucking hard, man. And I think City would rather just buy a settled winger, but we'll see. My prediction is 3-1. What's your predictions? Yeah, he is. Saran Raj, I did a video, I was on Manchester City Live, with Esme Morgan, the Manchester City women's player, and she said, because she sees him around the City football group, the academy, and she said that Carlos is a wonderful lad, because there was a video, a VT playing of him saying, oh, he's a bit shy, and she laughed behind the scenes saying, no, he's not shy, he's the friendliest guy there, he's apparently really bubbly, he's a really nice guy, Carlos Borges, apparently, really lovely guy, so I don't think it's a happy faces thing. He seems to be really nice, from what I can gather. He's very popular. So I don't think it's that necessarily. I think it's just more... I don't know. I'm not sure yeah. It could be as well that he just struggled at first team level because, we saw him against Girona. It was just one game against Girona, but he did struggle to get into that game. What if, hypothetically, he struggles to get into game in training? Like, we only see the academy level, and it's really underappreciated just how hard it is to step up to first team football, because academy football for some young players is easy. Like, I've seen so many talented young pacey wingers absolutely destroy fullbacks, then get into first team football, then do nothing. I remember Isaac Buckley Ricketts. How many of you guys have heard of him? Isaac Buckley used to score like 15, 20 goals a season for the academy lads. He would just pacey, nimble. He'd run past people, and he'd score loads. Nowhere near elite level. Aaron Nemain as well. Who remembers him? Exactly the same. Paulo Fernandes as well. Exactly the same. Ravi Matondo as well. Exactly the same. So many pacey, electric wingers that go past people but then don't make it. Weirdly, Sancho was different actually, Drapox. Sancho was much more technical. He could go past people, but he was more close control. I still, to this day, feel like Sancho, he's an idiot. He should have stayed around because he's an ideal Guardiola winger. Sancho is a Guardiola winger. He's a wide playmaker who can beat people and score goals. But he's an idiot. He should have fucking stayed around, man. Brandon Barker's another one, Paul, as well. These pacey technical wingers who then never quite make up the step up to first team football because it's hard. Because elite level defenders are so fucking good. Like Carlos Borges will run past Arsenal's, he'll run past. Who was he playing against? Let's have a look. He was playing against today R. Walters, whoever he is. Rule Walters, some 18-year-old right back. But then all of a sudden, he's up against Kyle Walker in training, and Kyle Walker will just fucking beast him. Like, it's so difficult because they just stand off you. Marcus Lopez, another, and he's had a good career. That's what I mean. But the level is so hard. So Borges could be that guy. He could be, but the step up as a winger, it can be really hard to take. Look at McAtee, who's a technical player. He took a while to get going with Sheffield United. Just won their Player of the Month, by the way. He got there eventually, but it's hard. It's very fucking hard. Basically, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy to make it as a Manchester City player, but he has the ability. Hopefully, Carlos Borges. I don't know. Guys, this is my personal take on the game. Let's have a read of some of your scores. Bob saying 2-1 City. Drapox saying 3-0. Danny Moore saying 4-1. Kareem saying 2-0. I'm going 3-1, man. I'm going 3-1. I reckon, yeah, it will be something like this lineup. I'm going for something like this with Kyle Walker once again at right back, Akanji, Laporte together, presuming Laporte's available. Cancelo in at left back. Phillips to give Rodri a rest. I can't decide if Gomez is going to play. If he does, he might play midfield. You might get a game in midfield, Gomez, which is a bit odd, but he's kind of sort of played there before. He might be something like that. It could be something like this if Gomez plays. It also could be that Foden plays in midfield for rare, and it could be that Gomez plays out wide. Palmer, I think, is going to start on the right, and I can't wait. Fingers crossed he does. And basically, Alvarez as well is almost certainly going to start. It's a good team, man. It's a fun team as well. It's one that I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see a few changes. I want to see a bit of variety in this team. I do think we will do. But anyway, reckon we'll see another... Pep Gorgonzola, which is a great name in the chat, said, reckon we'll see another academy graduate debut soon. No, if I'm being honest, mate, I think we're done for the season that way. And to be honest, it's fine. Rico Lewis has broke through. Cole Palmer's in the first team. Phil Foden's there as well. I reckon we won't see anything for a while. Let's see what he does in pre-season and like who's going to make it and so on. Let me turn the lights on. A bit dark, I just realised. Let me see who gets chosen in pre-season. I'm looking at that academy side today, and I can't really see anyone else. Wilson Asbrand, of course, has been on the periphery. Borges, Oscar Bob. But I can't really see anyone else being around at the moment. But currently, I'm happy with academy life at Manchester City. I think the players are breaking through, and it looks really good for us. Let's hopefully see a few more. But guys, thanks for watching this video. Please do hit the like button. Do you know what? I'll carry on chatting for a little bit. Any questions? Any questions? I'll stay around. I like Shea Charles too. He looks really good, Charlie. It's just so hard to get into this Manchester City side in his position, isn't it? Be as a DM or as a centre back. It's hard. I know Saran Raj G said Rico Lewis rested for cup games to play in League Cup games. Playing league games. Who would have guessed that in pre-season? Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think the door's closed for McAtee yet, Hossam. I agree. Like, weirdly, I do think there's a chance for McAtee. Like, McAtee is really valued at Manchester City, and I think he's not close yet. He isn't close yet, but this loan is getting better and better for him at Sheffield United, and all he's got to do is adapt to first team football. And even then, Sheffield United don't play his style at all. But he's made himself Player of the Month there. He's getting stronger. He's getting better. And look, to be honest, I do think he's the kind of player that would be better around a Guardiola side than he would be there. So if he's playing, for Guardiola, if he's playing for, he's playing for Sheffield United in the Championship, and maybe they'll get promoted. I mean, let's look at the Championship table right now. Sheffield United. They're currently sat in second in the Championship, Sheffield United, and are they playing right now by any chance? They are. Let's have a look. Is McAtee playing? McAtee is playing with Tommy Doyle as well. So Tommy Doyle and McAtee are both playing right now. Go on, lads. But McAtee's having a good time right now, man. He started to score. What's his prediction? What's his prediction that he made? Let's have a look. God, these local websites are terrible. Just what did he say? He promised he returned to club a better player. Well, thank you. That's nice of you. Cheers, man. But they're currently sat second in the league, and it's going well for them. They could be a Premier League team next year. Sheffield United. Where's the Championship? There we go. Show me the goddamn table. So they're currently sat second. Obviously, Burnley miles out ahead there. And that's really impressive, obviously. for Burnley. But, you know, currently, McAtee is the current player of the month for a team starting second in the Championship. That's a good thing. It's kind of been what Mason Mount was doing at Derby, you know, and we need to see a little bit of that. Mason Mount was obviously became one of Derby's best players and then obviously ended up a Champions League winner to our pain. Why can't McAtee do the same? Maybe he needs another loan after this, but if McAtee, you know, earns himself a really good loan and presses again, maybe lower Premier League or once again in the Premier League, Championship, and stars again, we'll see. But guys, I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching this. I'm going to go and play with Ruben because he's awake before he goes to sleep again. We'll be doing a watch along tomorrow, and I will be doing a fan view live tomorrow because it's slightly early kickoff, so I'll be doing a fan view live tomorrow. So if you are a member, Scott, Mark, I'm looking at you in the chats there. Who else is in the chat? Guy's in the chat as well. Paul's in the chat. All the members. I want to chat to you tomorrow after the game. It'll be good to chat to you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Have a lovely rest of your Saturday. Up the Blues.